Christine, A Witch's Tale. A novelette. Written by Benjamin Giraud. The first installment of the Christine Chronicles. Chapters. 1. Early Days. 3. 2. Things Get Interesting. 7. 3. Welcome to Witch Haven: 10. 4. The Hard Part. 12. 5. The Mission. 14. 6. Meet the Mayor. 19. 7. Teaching a Rookie. 23. 8. Too Late to Nap. 27. 9. The Big Escape. 29. 10. Some Help. 32. 11. Devilish Revenge. 36. 12. Highway to Demon. 39. 13. Desperate Times Call for Shiny Crucifixes. 44. 14. In the End. 49. 15. Epilogue. 52. About the Author. 54. Special thanks to David Pilkey, Nintendo, and Pizza Evan Chunk for ideas. Chapter 1. Early Days. This is Christine Witz. And she was a youngster, a kid with black, down-on-sides hair, regular, bland eyes, and a purple dress that looked like a uniform. It was clear she was ordinary, just like other kids. But if you looked closer, you'd notice she wasn't exactly ordinary. She was also a smart young girl with many talents. She knew how to cook rice and beans without burning them, clean the entire bathroom until it sparkled, and read long, insipid, and boring books without falling asleep halfway through. Well, maybe not that ordinary, but you know what I mean. She was a good girl, and still is. The Witts lived in a small apartment in Wichita, Kansas, in 1999. It wasn't much, but it was home. Summers there were scorching, the kind of heat that made people stay indoors, but it was still the best place to go outside. Christine liked the pool down the street, the sound of bees buzzing in the trees, and the way the grass smelled like shampoo. However, her parents thought she was a little weird. Not in a bad way though. For example, one time in 8th grade, she had a science project where you had to write a 10-page report on the solar system and how it was formed. Well, she did that, but hers was 20 pages long, and almost 9 of those pages were just a long summary about the meaning of life. Her teacher didn't know whether to give her an A or recommend her to go to mental therapy. Her parents weren't like that when they were young. They never volunteered to do chores, and they certainly didn't write extra long essays for fun. But they were proud of her anyway. They loved her, even if they didn't always understand her, so they never really said anything about it. What they worried about most wasn't her grades or her quirks, it was that she didn't spend much time with them. Her dad especially tried to get her attention, but Christine always had the same excuse: she was too busy with homework. But I'm pretty sure it's just an excuse to use their boring, slow computer to look things up. Years later, though, they didn't have to worry about her behavior anymore. Christine was about to graduate from high school and move on with her life. And since she had the best grades in school, she got accepted to Princeton University. As Christine was packing her things, her dad came into her room and asked if she needed anything before she left. But she said the same thing she always said whenever he offered help. "I don't want your help, Dad. I can do this all on my own," she told him. I should have mentioned that Christine was an independent young woman. Because of that, she was always annoyed when her parents tried to help her with everything. Later, Christine entered the living room and told her parents, "I'm older now, so you don't need to worry. You don't have to call me every 2 hours when I'm at college. I have everything under control, understand?" Her parents were surprised at how confident and serious she was about leaving her parents' house, but they gave her the okay sign anyway. So she packed her pencils and her other complicated school materials, ate breakfast, got ready, and said one last goodbye before she set off on her grown-up journey. After traveling across the United States, she arrived in New Jersey. There, she spent hours studying for exams, playing with her friends, and pulling practical jokes sometimes. It was fun for a while, but during her first year of college, she started to feel pretty bored. Why? Well, she had always loved being at home, where every day felt like an adventure. There were always things going on around the house, always something to do. Not that there weren't things to do at college, but it never really hit the same. Chapter 2. Things get interesting. College was nothing special. Christine passed her tests just like always, and college was just as bland as she had thought on the first day. However, near the end of the year, something odd happened. While the first year of college was ending, there was a big end-of-year party for people who passed their finals. Even though Christine did pass her final, she just lay down in bed and skipped it. Even though she never said it, Christine felt so bored that she felt dead. I guess someone must have heard her thoughts because an uncanny creature was riding a broomstick to her room. The unusual figure came crashing through the window and entered the room. Crash. Holy guacamole, Christine said, knocking in a loop. Hello, said the creature who resembled a weird green monster. Screamed Christine. Who are you? I am a representative of the official magic company of Witch Haven, said the creature. Christine's expression was very dull. Now, said the figure, it's normal to feel very shocked by this. It's not every day you see someone on a flying broomstick. I'm not surprised. Really? Yeah, Christine said, not surprised. Well, said the monster, taking out a piece of paper. He read out loud, you've been selected to be a part of our society. You will be trained to fight demons, warlocks, and stuff like that. What? Shouted Christine, that's impossible. I can show you, if you want, the figure stated. Christine started to think hard. Well, I really shouldn't leave my life behind just to go with you, but I'm bored out of my mind, so. She agreed to go, as long as no one knew about where she was going. Don't worry about that, okay, the monster assured. So, Christine got out of bed, hopped onto the broomstick, and flew into the sky. I should have mentioned that I'm kind of afraid of heights, yelled Christine. Don't be frightened, screamed the monster, I've flown this baby for over 1,000 years. People who weren't at the party started to get woken up from the ruckus. Then people began noticing something flying in the air. And it wasn't an airplane. So they started yelling, hey, it's a UFO, they're gonna abduct us all, and we're doomed. The monster sighed. Then it used a special, complicated device that removes short-term memory. And soon, everyone was very confused about what they were surprised by. Either way, they were gone in a flash. Christine and the magical broomstick traveled outside the solar system, and soared to another solar system, minus the other planets, only one planet and its sun. But still in the Milky Way galaxy. Chapter 3. Welcome to Witch Haven. After traveling several miles across the Milky Way galaxy, they arrived in the place the creature was talking about, Witch Haven. The monster explained that it's a place full of magic and wonder. It's a place where goblins and warts live together. Magic fills the air. The sky was mostly sunny and blue. The night was black on most nights, but sometimes it was purple due to reasons unknown. The ground was kind of flat and very grassy. It's like Earth, but it has magic. It's wonderful, Christine was amazed. However, there was something dark behind all of the fun in this place, because it was also a breeding ground for all sorts of evil. It stated that the citizens don't know that because they were able to keep it mostly a secret from the world. The monster told her that's why Christine was chosen. What? Cried Christine, that's crazy, you can't just make me a general. You don't have to, if you don't want to, said the monster. We can go back to your dorm if you want. She was going to do just that, but she was bored back at college, so she decided to give it a try. The monster told her that she should think twice about doing this, and how much work, and effort, and perseverance was required to become a witch wizard, and how much toughness there would be throughout. Yes, Christine stated, I don't need you to lecture me on this whole thing like all my teachers do. Okay, the monster replied, just remember that I warned you. Soon, they flew all the way down to a building. A giant building, bigger than the one at her school. Then they entered the lobby. "Welcome to the Witch Haven Training and Meeting Center Company," said a man at the front desk. "How can I help you?" "We have a new brand recruit joining us for training," said the monster. Christine looked sluggishly at the man. "Ooh, great. When is she starting?" I guess right now." "What? Now?" Christine was shook. "Perfect," said the man, "I'll go get you ready," and just like that, her long years of training had begun. Chapter 4. The hard part. At first, Christine was terrible at her training. She failed her first training session, in which you had to try to use your wand to move a plastic ball from a table. She did that, or she thought she did. She levitated the teacher instead of the ball. Then they had to learn to fly their broomstick. This is the part she liked the most, but learning to fly was gonna be a lot longer than she thought. A specific group called the Big Boys bullied Christine after the first training and threw out. "Hey," said one of the bullies. "Huh," said Christine, grabbing her books. "You're that kid who just got here, right?" Well, you did a really, really good job earlier," the other two kids told Christine loudly and sarcastically. They laughed hard. Christine tried to ignore their jokes, but later she started to wonder if she should have joined this world. She thought of what the monster said before. She began to think whether she shouldn't have ever said yes to going into the force. After those 2 training exercises, she got a room to sleep in while she was training. Then, at 9 on the dot, someone yelled on the intercom, "Go to bed, now." She didn't care about that because she was famished from all of this work. But even sleep felt like a chore because they made everybody get up at 6 in the morning. And in her mind, sleep is the most important part of the day. Well, at least the cafeteria food was okay. Until it wasn't, when she splattered some eyeballs and slugs. It tasted and smelled just as bad as you think. Yuck. All in all, that was life in those days. She may be smart in school back in her own world, but she sucks at doing this preposterous, magical labor. And thanks to that total lack of intelligence, she ensured that she had next to no friends. And on top of that, it took her 20-something years longer than most people. They only did 10. After all of the perilous hours of work, she finally got the ability to start her quest for real and to begin her first adventure. Chapter 5. The Mission. Kids today think that school is the worst thing that has ever come into existence. They believe that they should just stay at home to play video games and to doom scroll on popular media websites 24 hours a day. That wasn't really true for Christine all the way up until now. School was boring, but it never interfered with her life. But right now, that couldn't be any more true. After years of hard work, she finally got in. It was already the 2020s, and she started regretting going into this training and wanted to quit right away. But she realized she was the wisest of all of the witches and wizards, so she went with it, for now. After Christine received her diploma, a few days later on Friday, she got a message on her phone. "Report to Bob, at room 101, to begin your first mission." This was what she was waiting for from the start, even if training was unbearable for the most part. So, she put on a dress uniform she bought, and there she went, stumbling herself to the meeting room while trying not to get distracted by the other rooms they were in the facility. Like the office and worker room where all the workers, generals, witches, and wizards socialized and had their own little space to work, and a science-y room which was filled with all sorts of cool inventions, leaded a scientist by Professor Congevance. That was interesting. Here's the thing about the leader named Bob. He most impressed by Christine's growth. He had never seen someone who had worked from the bottom and gone all the way to the top, even if she did spend longer in training. He thought the other jobs out there were way too easy. There was one mission that needed itching. A much bigger itch. So, he decided to give Christine that job, a much bigger job than all the others. When all the workers arrived, he immediately sent some of them to fight off evil. Then he told Christine to come to his office in private and told her the mission. Now, this is important, Bob quietly and slowly told her his plan. He told her that there was an old man named Dr. Kaboom. He's known around these parts for stealing from convenience stores and plotting revenge against anyone who upsets him. He also rules a small town called Ninimus. I saw a stick of dynamite last week, in my telescope, in the middle of this town. I think it's bigger than the size of a school bus, Bob told Christine, shaking. I need you to go over there and see what's up. Christine was very excited, and a little worried, but mostly excited. I'll do it, she quickly said. And she said. Wait, he shouted. I don't think you should do this all on your own. It's pretty big. I'm pretty sure I can do this right, Christine begged to differ. He assured her that it was best to have an assistant, as they could help her if she got into any trouble. Before Christine could say anything, he introduced her to one of the workers who had been working in the force for over 30 years. His nickname? Mr. Pencil. Not the real one, and yes, his outfit looked like America's favorite writing utensil. He is a human, but he has a pencil outfit. He looked silly, too silly to be in this force. Christine thought the guy looked familiar. I should have mentioned that Christine, once before, had an older brother named Mike. He wasn't interested in Christine at all at birth. He was kind of mean to her, but he disappeared while the wits were celebrating Christine's 4th birthday, and no one knows what happened to him. Her parents never told Christine anything, but they never denied it either. This man looks pretty familiar, Christine thought. Could he be her long-lost brother? No, she knew that there were a bajillion people in this universe, and there was no way that this guy was her brother. Getting back on track here, Bob knew this was her guy. This guy is good, Bob said, slightly sweating. I do not think he will be of any use in my adventure, Christine assured. Come on, give it a try, said Mr. Pencil. I'll be honest. Bob grabbed Christine's shoulder and whispered, this servant hasn't at all been helpful. He consistently fails in his missions and doodles with his pencil top part on his costume. One time, he used his pencil top to make a circus instead of defeating a giant dog. Perhaps he was trying to entertain the dog, but that wasn't the least helpful. He's on the verge of being fired and sent back to where he came from. I'd like you to teach him a few things before that happens, or he gets demoted to broomstick cleaning duties. Oh, come on, exclaimed Mr. Pencil. Pretty please with a cherry and ice cream and frosting and those little plastic rings. Okay, Christine yelped in annoyance. But only just this once. Okay. Yay, Mr. Pencil said. I'm proud of you, Christine. Sure you are, Bob, chuckled Christine, slightly smiling. Chapter 6. Meet the Mayor. Meanwhile, in the lands of Ninimus, Dr. Kaboom was the ruler of the city. Mayor by day, aspiring villain at night. He had some yellow spiky hair and red spiky-like clothes. And some glasses, so you know he was some kind of smartpants. Yes, he had a real name, but I'll keep that secret for now. The streets of Ninimus smelled like cigarettes because since there was a nuclear garbage plant in the city, black clouds and smoke filled the air. But the citizens of the town were even worse. The people of this town were always mean to each other. They lied, cheated, and, worst of all, they punished people who did good. Dr. Kaboom enforced those strict laws on the citizens, didn't care about the environment, and the police officers were forced to punish them in these ways. It was a mostly rotten place to live, but some of the townspeople didn't seem to mind. But even that wasn't enough. He wanted to punish them for reasons that will later be explained. But anyways, 2 days prior, Dr. Kaboom had hired some servants named Happy, Matt, and Trestle. They were from another planet, but that's not important. Kaboom was paying them to help him in any evil schemes he thought of. He tried to be nice to his servants for the past few days, but they'd always bicker, and he almost always had to be really mean to them to do what he wanted. That day, he told his servants of his plan for the little town in the town hall. My plan is simple, he explained. I hate taking care of this sickening town. They're all too mean and too, well, bad. So, I have made all the people of Ninimus carry a large stick of dynamite to the center of town. But it kind of looks like a rocket, leader, Meh claimed. He's the logical one. Well, yeah, that's the point, it's supposed to look like that to fool the others. Then, he continued, later tonight, the dynamite will set off and blow up the whole city. Then I'll be able to start all over and control at least what was left of it. This was very disrespectful, and some people didn't deserve it. He didn't know that the reason this was happening was mainly due to himself. He made many evil and rotten rules. So if he was mad about the people and their not so good ways, he only had himself to blame. I think that's a great idea, Happy agreed. He always agrees to everything. Me too, Meh agreed too, these people need a lesson taught. Good, Dr. Kaboom moved forward, now let's. Trestle interrupted, oh, I hate that idea, Trestle opposed, sobbing. He is such a crybaby. Happy and Meh disagreed with Mr. Crybaby's opinion. Then they got into a big argument about Dr. Kaboom's idea. They started to disagree with each other. It got so bad that they began to regret ever being friends. I never even liked you anyway, said Happy. You always steal my lunch, sobbed Trestle. Stop it, you two, Meh barked. This went on for 2 minutes. Then the leader decided that enough was enough. Hey guys, Dr. Kaboom spoke softly. Hello, he spoke louder. Then he snapped in half. Aahhh, he screamed like a cartoon character. That got their attention. Enough, he shouted. That's the last straw, I've had it with you, you're all fired. And if you're not out of here in 10 seconds, I'll give you the death penalty. They were all mad at each other, especially Meh. But they knew the death penalty was serious stuff. So, they got out of the building, entered their alien-like spaceship, and flew away, slowly. Good riddance, Dr. Kaboom thought. What naughty nougats, I mean, who would want to read a book about me and these guys? Quotation mark. Even though he was glad that those guys were gone, he knew that to do things his way, he was gonna have to take care of business himself. And so he began to devise the rest of his first, little evil plan. Chapter 7. Teaching a Rookie. Christine and Mr. Pencil were on the track to the city of Ninimus on foot. It was pretty fine outside. The skies were clear, the birds chirped, and the ground wasn't too wet. But the journey was long, like 20 miles long. It was going to take all day. Can't we use your mechanical thingy you have in your bag? Questioned Mr. Pencil while walking. Number 1, it's called a broomstick, Christine remarked. The first part she told sassily, and number 2, I need to save the battery just in case. Just in case, he mumbled from what, exploding? This woman is a real piece of work. He was a little angry, and he couldn't keep his words to himself. As they walked through the grass, Christine tried to teach Mr. Pencil what she had learned in training. Okay, she said as she swirled her hair and grabbed a wand from her pocket. First, I'll show you how to levitate things. That sounds easy enough, Mr. Pencil said confidently. He snatched her wand out of her hand. He pointed it at a golden flower, waved it randomly, and shouted deadly petrol, and it shot the flower dead. Boo-uzzerk. A bird was watching the flower that got lasered. She got shocked and flew away from the grass field. Mr. Pencil stared at the bird flying away, then looked back to Christine. Christine stared at him too and spoke harshly, Dude, that's the spell to kill someone, give me that. Quotation mark. Aw, man, Mr. Pencil sighed. I thought I had it. Christine tried to teach Mr. Pencil other spells that weren't levitating, but he either got distracted or completely messed things up. This is why I don't do group missions, she snarled under her breath. But later, she found something he was good at. As they were nearing the home stretch, they reached a large river that was filled with fish with poisonous, sharp teeth. Real sharp, enough to kill someone. They couldn't go across it because they didn't have a boat. They couldn't go around it because it was way too thick. I know you're thinking, why couldn't she use her wand? Well, guess what? It was completely out of battery after all of that teaching, and they needed to wait a while for it to recharge. Great, now what are we gonna do? Christine asked. Mr. Pencil thought. He looked at the top of his hat, then he said, I got it. Using the top of his hat, he drew a giant bridge they could walk across. It took a good 50 seconds. By the time he was done making it, Christine was impressed. Why didn't you tell me you could do that before? You were so busy teaching me that I thought you wouldn't care, Mr. Pencil claimed, frowning. Besides, Bob told you that earlier. Oh yeah, Christine said. Then she apologized. It's okay, I guess, Mr. Pencil forgave. Now let's go get that evil guy before it's too late. Quotation mark. Despite his lack of knowledge of magic, maybe this weird doodle guy wouldn't be such a waste of time after all. At least this once. They had traveled for 16 miles, and it took all day, but they were almost there. It was late mid-afternoon since they had been traveling since that morning. Christine remembered that she had a portable charger in her backpack all along, so she took it out and put her wand to charge. That meant that Mr. Pencil's contribution to drawing a bridge to cross the river was worthless. But she didn't say anything. Let's rest for say, 30 minutes, recommended Christine, wiping sweat from her head. Good idea, agreed the pencil. They bet the thingy and Ninimus wouldn't do anything unusual until midnight. They bet wrong. Chapter 8. Too late to nap. The treacherous duo was sleeping for a little while, but Christine forgot to set an alarm to wake them up after 30 minutes. Luckily, her phone started ringing at the 15-minute mark. Ring. The ring immediately woke her up. She realized it was dark out. Uh-oh. Luckily, it was 8:00 p.m. She picked up her phone, and there was a message that woke her completely up. Update. Dynamite is starting to shake. It's likely to blow up, and it may blow up within the next hour, maybe less. Get there soon? What's going on, Christine? Shoot, she snarled. She showed him the message. What the? Mr. Pencil was shocked, too. We still have 4 miles left, and by the time we get there, it will be chapter 10 or something, he cried. What am I saying? We won't be, Christine said as she took out her broomstick. It was fully charged since they hadn't used it yet. She got on it. Hop on, Christine pointed to the end of the stick. I don't think I can fit, Christine. Sure, you can, Christine said. It's built for up to 2. The guy at the store checked. Okay, Mr. Pencil was nervous. So Mr. Pencil got on the end of the stick, held on tightly, and they zoomed across the stars and the lights. Mr. Pencil was screaming the whole way due to the speed of the boomstick. He yelled. Stop over-exaggerating, snarled Christine. They were both blinded by these lights, but they soon saw the lights of the town. They quickly went to the ground and ran into the city guarded by a large gate, but the entrance was wide open. They got there just in time. Chapter 9. The Big Escape. Dr. Kaboom was waiting at the top of the main tower of Ninimus, making the final preparations for his plan. He was flipping switches, adjusting knobs, and humming a song that he made up. He was about to make the tower into a cool spaceship to blast off, away from the explosion. Operation, I don't know because I didn't name it at all, is almost complete, he whispered to himself, giggling a little. All I need to do now is to press this button. He leaned over his control panel to press it. But just as his finger hovered above the last switch, crash! The door flew open. Don't even think about it, shouted Christine, entering the room with Mr. Pencil right behind her, breathing heavily from all the stairs they climbed. Dr. Kaboom froze. His spiky yellow hair almost shook from shock. You naughty nougats. I mean, how did you find me? My boss told me about you, Christine said while showing him a picture of the bomb. Yes, that he confirmed, shaking a little. Mr. Pencil pointed dramatically. We know about the dynamite, and we're going to take you downtown, hopefully. Christine was about to bump Mr. Pencil on the shoulder when Dr. Kaboom smirked and said, "Well, you're too late. I have a plan for situations like this." He giggled louder. "This book is just beginning." He pressed another button on the console. The whole tower shook. A mechanical whir sounded below the tower. Something was rising. "What is he doing?" Mr. Pencil yelped, panicking. "What is he doing?" Outside, the giant stick of dynamite began to rumble, and out of it appeared a small cockpit. It was connected by a long, weak tube, and the main part was shaped like a rounded square. "Behold," Dr. Kaboom shouted as he jumped out the window, but landed smoothly inside the cockpit. "My round bomb-shaped escape pod thingy. I will ride this round thingy into the sky, and then drop the thingy when the beeping begins. That way you won't be able to stop me with the thingy, yet." The dynamite lifted off the ground, hovering as Kaboom messed with the controls. It started doing slow circles in the air. Mr. Pencil claimed, "He's just circling like a flying saucer." Christine pulled out her wand. "We'll stop him. He can't drop that thing if he doesn't know where to aim." "Good point," said Mr. Pencil. Dr. Kaboom yelled from above in his megaphone, "You can't stop me. My plan is flawless. In a few minutes, the beep will begin, and ka-boom." But Christine got an idea, and she was going to need some help. Chapter 10. Some help? "I got an idea," Christine said. "Really?" questioned Mr. Pencil. "Is it any good?" "Yeah, but we will need to work fast." She tells Mr. Pencil her plan, stating every last detail. "Oh, that is a good plan." She calls Bob and asks him to bring 8 generals and tell them to meet her in the sky. 5 minutes later, Mr. Pencil drew himself a wand. Then they were on the broomstick, flying through the night sky. Christine steered carefully, flying in a wide circle around the giant floating dynamite and its cockpit. Dr. Kaboom noticed. "Ha! Trying to trap me," Dr. Kaboom barked at them in his megaphone. "I go where people will never expect." He got cocky and started to steer away from Ninimus. "See, I'm going in the opposite direction from you," he yelled. "Ha, what are you going to do now?" Then suddenly, the 8 generals from earlier started whooshing up from above and began to go in circles around the dynamite. "Really?" Dr. Kaboom laughed. "That's your genius plan? Going around in circles, that's not even the slightest of an attempt." Then they all raised their wands, and then started squirting out fire from them. The fire was so hot that it could burn 1,000 dogs in seconds. It was so hot it made the bomb start ticking faster. "Heh, nice light show," Kaboom hollered. Dr. Kaboom giggled while this was happening, but then he noticed something strange when he looked down at the timer. Detonation in 0:40, 0:38, 0:36. "Wait, what?" Dr. Kaboom yelled, "it's going faster. This wasn't the plan at all." Quotation mark. Dr. Kaboom tried to steer back to Ninimus, but it was too late. The timer was going at a speedy rate. "UHO," he yelled again. Dr. Kaboom knew he had to get out of there. He pulled an emergency escape lever and jumped out. He dropped his megaphone as well. Christine grabbed the megaphone and yelled into it, "Everyone take cover." All the generals and Christine summoned invisible shields except for Mr. Pencil, who was with Christine in her shield. And so, kaboom! The explosion went off like fireworks, but luckily it was far enough away from Ninimus, so nobody got hurt. The people cheered boldly. "Ore!" they cried. "Mommy," a little goblin girl asked from her home, staring down at Bristine, in their balcony, in the city. She watched everything that happened. "I thought you told me magic wasn't real." "It isn't," claimed her mom reluctantly, who was sitting on a chair inside the home. "You really must be having some hallucinations." Even though she herself was reading Ashley's Magical Adventures, which is pretty much the Witch Haven version of Harry Potter, except Ashley was an actual real witch who had several adventures and had come years before Christine. But that's a useless fact. Anyways, Back on the ground, our heroes were very proud, especially Mr. Pencil. Meanwhile, Dr. Kaboom was still falling down all the way down to the ground. Ah, I hate those naughty nougats! Quotation mark. He screamed as he fell into a lake with water that was freezing cold. Splash! That bird from earlier saw Dr. Kaboom's descent. She was very shocked. The bird flies away before he notices. Oh, he yelled, sitting in the small lake. He was so furious, he most certainly wanted revenge. I will get those two, he thought. Chapter 11. Devilish Revenge. Hey, bub, spoke a green goblin on a bench near the lake, which looked like a turd. What's up? Quotation mark. I don't want to talk about it, barked Dr. Kaboom, sitting in the lake from the last chapter. Okay, sorry. I'm a failure as a bad person, Dr. Kaboom finally spoke. I couldn't even do one villain thing without some hero messing up. Well, the goblin asked, I've been a villain in the past. Do you want to hear what I think? I really don't want to hear a plan from a retired villain, barked Dr. Kaboom, but I'm running out of time before the cops catch me and I don't have another plan, so, whatever. Quotation mark. Well, he recommended, sometimes you've got to find your inner demon. Quotation mark. Oh, that's nonsense, Dr. Kaboom claimed harshly while getting out of the water. You don't know anything about villainy. No, really, let me do something. The goblin tried to grab his head, but Dr. Kaboom didn't budge. Get off of me, you slob, he demanded. Eventually, he was able to grab his hand tightly. Then he opened his head, not gruesomely, and no blood fell out. He reached into his head and grabbed the red figure inside his head. He pulled it all out. It was a lot of red. He kept pulling and pulling it out until eventually, it was all out. And there was a giant devil in the mayor's head. Dr. Kaboom was screaming through it all. He screamed, what did you do? Quotation mark. The goblin told him to look behind. Here was a fluffy red demon with razor-sharp claws and teeth. Dr. Kaboom was very shocked at the sight of the demon. Ta-da! The goblin exclaimed. What the? Dr. Kaboom was amazed. Angry, the demon said. Must destroy. Nimbuses. No, 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 yelled Dr. Kaboom as he grabbed a smaller megaphone from its pack. Destroy Ninimus. Oh yes, said the demon. Must destroy Ninimus. He immediately started running to the city of Ninimus. Whoa, Dr. Kaboom was shocked. You're an evil genius. I knew you'd trust me, the goblin said, giving a sly grin. Chapter 12. Highway to Demon. Christine and Mr. Pencil were celebrating their victory in the middle of a fountain of Ninimus. Phew, Mr. Pencil cheered while eating a sandwich he drew. I think we did pretty well for a first attempt. Agreed, Christine agreed. You're not as dumb as I thought. What did you say? Giraud. What was that? Christine asked. That's probably just thunder or an aftershock from all that magic, Mr. Pencil quickly explained. I hope. This town sure is weird, Christine thought. Thump thump thump. That doesn't sound like thunder, Christine said, immediately picking up her broomstick. Something was coming in the distance. Something red. Me angry, me want to destroy. Ninimus. Mr. Pencil spat out part of his sandwich. Is that a giant red teddy bear? He questioned. Yep, I think we have a new problem, Christine admitted. The demon got closer and closer and closer until eventually. Everybody run, one of the citizens shouted. Everybody ran and screamed, and they all evacuated out of the town. But some very slowly, they needed to get all their stuff from their homes. But there was no time. I'll get you, witch and the weird pointy-topped guy. The demon exclaimed. Quick, we've got to get out of this village, yelled Mr. Pencil. Then he slammed his sandwich on the ground. Christine turned on her mechanical broomstick, but... Shoot, shouted Christine. Christine's broomstick was out of battery from the dynamite they exploded, and it needed a long time to charge. She was sure the guy at the store said it would last for at least 4 chapters. "What are you talking about?" asked Mr. Pencil. "I have no idea," said Christine, biting her tongue. "I get tense and overreact quickly, I have to admit." "Never mind that, let's hide behind that giant tree over there until we think of a plan," Mr. Pencil yelled. "Good idea, Mr. Pencil." When the demon showed up, he started wrecking everything in the town, the cars, the buildings, and even those giant umbrellas that act like shade. It smashed the whole village. Some people got hurt, but they escaped before it got too far. They all ran away and hid outside the village. Ninimus was in danger yet again. Meanwhile, in another village, a young goblin was watching TV. How can this kid stay up until midnight? Well, it was Friday, and his parents were cool. He also got to watch horror movies and inappropriate news channels about battles and all of that stuff. Again, they were that cool. "Hey, look Dad," he exclaimed. "There's a movie about a demon who's absolutely crushing a whole village." Her mom gave a heavy sigh, rolled her eyes, and asked him to go to bed. Aw man, he was disappointed. Moving on, the goblin and Dr. Kaboom were watching the whole scene unfold at the lake. With his small drone, Dr. Kaboom had always packed. "Things are going excellent," he exclaimed. "Told ya," the goblin exclaimed, reading a newspaper that was on the floor. Wait a second, what is he doing?" Dr. Kaboom spoke sharply. The demon was heading to his home, next to Ninimus. "Oh no, no, no," he screamed. The demon smashed his whole home into a billion pieces. "My house, my evil lair, it's gone?" Dr. Kaboom went back to the goblin. "You're the worst villain ever. I should have mentioned the casualties," he said, still focused on his newspaper. "What am I going to do now?" Dr. Kaboom said furiously. His hair stood up spiky when he said that. "Hey man, you asked for it, so." Even though Dr. Kaboom was mad that this guy summoned the demon to destroy something important, he was more furious that his house was smashed to bits. "OHHH, you naughty nougat, I'll deal with you later," he barked. He used his teleporter, which he also packed, to travel to the demon and tried to stop it from doing any more damage, but to no avail. Chapter 13. Desperate times call for shiny, Crufix. "Looks like Kaboom turned into a devil," Christine said. They were sitting under a giant tree, trying to think of a plan to kill the demon while the demon continued to smash things. Christine thought they could use the tree to defeat the demon. But her wand was still charging. "Maybe we can hit a rock at it and it will fall," asked Mr. Pencil. "You're not being very helpful," Christine admitted. "That thing is not Goliath." Quotation mark. "Then what can we do then?" said Mr. Pencil, angrily. "I hate to admit it," Christine revealed, "but I'm out of ideas." Christine then looked at the demon. As it was looking for our heroes, the small cross on it blinded his eyes. It was the church, and it had a large cross. "AHH!" he screamed. To rectify the pain and suffering, he smashed the church into rubble. Then, went back to looking for them. Christine gets an idea. "I remember in training that one way to kill a demon is to use some kind of cross. Let's use a crucifix to turn it into dust." "That sounds good, but," Mr. Pencil admitted, "well, your cross looks too small." Quotation mark. "No, not mine, a bigger one," she exclaimed. "I don't see any bigger crosses around here," Mr. Pencil said, his thoughts to her, his thoughts, "but I can draw one." Quotation mark. "How big?" Christine asked. Big, one that will be deadly." "I don't see any bigger crosses around here," Mr. Pencil said, his thoughts to her, his thoughts, "but I can draw one." Quotation mark. He immediately began to draw the largest cross he could, sketching every line and mark. A few minutes later, it was finished. "How does it look?" the artist master asked. "It looks great. How did you learn how to draw so clean?" "I like to doodle in my training. I think I focused on it too much and didn't pay attention to my studies." "Oh," Christine blankly sighed. "We need to make this thing shine, though." Well, unfortunately Mr. Pencil admitted I forgot my gold crayon at home, so I can't make it shine. Quotation mark. I don't think we need a gold crayon to make this work. Do you have any other shiny crayons or something? I have this very shiny pink pastel crayon, he cried as he pulled the crayon out from his pocket. And, why did you bring a pink crayon, Mr. Pencil? My younger sister had a box full of shiny crayons, and I kinda took one for myself. Hey, my brother had the same pink crayon, Christine thought and realized she was exhausted. Really, said Mike, looking at her eyes. Whatever, let's just go bring this to the demon, Christine yawned. They went back into town and slowly crept into the town, trying to be as quiet as possible. Christine's wand was finally charged up, so she carried it. As soon as they were there, she grabbed the megaphone from her bag from earlier and spoke into it. Hello, demon. Ahhaa, the demon cried, you too. Yes, Mr. Pencil said, and we got you a surprise. Quotation mark. Really? Christine said. Mr. Pencil winked at her. Then she said, yep. The demon squinted. Surprises? Me loves surprises. I mean, me not a fan of big surprises, but. Before he could say anything, Christine grabbed the cross and pointed it at the demon. The demon was starting to yell and fell faint. No, too shiny, it yelled. Then he fell onto the ground, let out one last ahh until. Poof. The demon was gone. Did that do it? Mr. Pencil asked. Yep, said Christine. Yeah, the citizens cheered, getting out of their hiding spots. They cheered again, even louder. Man, exclaimed Mr. Pencil, didn't I do good or what? Not bad, kid, said Christine, not bad at all. We just saved the town with art supplies. A few minutes later, back at the lake, Dr. Kaboom got caught by the police and was being read his rights. Christine's broomstick was charged again, so they went to the lake to check on him. It turned out he didn't turn into a demon. You are under arrest, said the police officer, putting him in cuffs. Naughty nougats, cried Dr. Kaboom. Why did you want to destroy the town in the first place? Mr. Pencil asked when she got there. It turned out, the people of Ninimus were only being mean to him, and he wanted revenge for that. Why couldn't you have had a town meeting and explained your feelings to everybody? Asked Christine. Dr. Pencil sighs, why didn't I think of that? He was sent to prison for his trial and sentencing. Christine would later ask the citizens why they were being mean to their mayor, but they quickly said that was just a phase. Now that Dr. Kaboom was getting what he deserved, they would never be mean to him again. But Christine had a feeling that they would be back there again to tie things up. Chapter 14. In the end, the town of Ninimus was peaceful again. The grass was green, the people were fine, and that bird was no longer as terrified of life as she once was. Sure, it was going to take a long time to rebuild it all, but they all separated to other villages until that happened. Bob, Christine, and Mr. Pencil were sitting at a desk back at the office. They were talking about their mission. The bird from earlier was watching out the window, wearing a very protective helmet and looked very paranoid. No one seemed to notice her though. So, said Bob, did you like your first mission, busting a madman and stopping a demon? I did, said Christine, but it was kind of mostly Mr. Pencil who helped me. Thanks, said Mr. Pencil, and me too, he exclaimed. It was fun using my pencil to draw stuff, but I used up my crayon coloring that cross. Quotation mark. You already used up your sister's crayon? Christine rolled her eyes. Yeah, and I kinda borrowed it without asking. Wait, you've had that since you were a kid? Asked Cheestein. Yeah, he replied. Anyways, Christine, you certainly did the best you could, Bob said brightly, and I guess you did good as well, Mr. Pencil. Quotation mark. Yeah, Christine said, maybe this witch thing isn't a complete waste of energy and time, but next time, I'll charge all of my things in the next mission. Quotation mark. Oh, you won't need to worry about that anymore, stated Bob. I noticed you having some problems during chapters 7 to 13, and you won't be needing these anymore. Quotation mark. What are you talking about? Asked Christine. Bob froze. Nothing, just let me show you something. Bob grabbed the broomstick and the wand, then tossed them into the garbage. Then he showed them to his closet and got out 2 real magic broomsticks and wands. Christine was glad about that, no more charging every chapter. Mr. Pencil was excited, too. Let's save that for another day, said Christine. Good idea, Bob and Mr. Pencil agreed. They all went back home and rested for the weekend, dreaming dreamy dreams. Their first mission may be over. But their journey was just beginning. Chapter 15. Epilogue page chapter. Can I try that spell thing again? Asked Mr. Pencil. Okay, but do it right this time, said Christine, as Mr. Pencil got out his wand. Okay, I will, he promised. Boo-chi-boo, he shouted as he pointed the wand at a plant. The spell made the plant act a little silly. The bird was so scared of them both, she stopped looking inside and flew away. Tweet, she screamed. Her helmet fell when she was fleeing, and so she went back to the ground to pick it up. Then she went back to flying away. She was still screaming though. Dude, that's not even a real spell, Christine said. Heh, Mr. Pencil giggled, smirking. The end, for now. About the author. Benjamin Giraud is a middle school student in Orlando, Florida. He conceived the concept for this book at the beginning of 2025. It would be about a witch, a villain, a wacky sidekick, and a mysterious ending. He made 2 comic book versions of this book earlier, but he realized that the book would be a lot better as a chapter book, like his favorite book series, Captain Underpants. This is the first installment in the series, however, whether the series continues or not is a mystery. He lives with his family and dog in the location above.